Hello, bestie. It's Sukoko, your divine oracle. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's call in the spirits, the angels, the divine, all that dwells in the light. All right. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to pull a card from the Divine Abundance Oracle deck. And I'm going to pull some cards from my tarot cards. And then I'll just do a little bit of like shamanic channeling to kind of see what the deeper message is and could be. Ooh. Okay. Non-duality. You're getting the card of non-duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at doing both. Let your authentic humanity shine forth. I'm feeling as if this is calling on you to move with like move with compassion and like something informed, like treat others the way you'd like to be treated, and very much so being able to like see yourself in others, in their pain, in their anger, in their emotions, but then also being able to acknowledge your own inner divinity, like that thing from the Bible of like God made us in his image. Like there's an energy of that where it's just like there's an ability for you to transcend your situation, and almost as if like you could be feeling right now you're called upon to like help others. Oh my god, I'm like my head spinning a little bit. You could be feeling as if you're being called upon to guide others right now. All right, let me just shuffle these up. Yeah, Six of Swords, you're leaving behind something, and the Four of Pentacles, you're leaving behind something that you once held very closely. It could be like old beliefs or an energy of like something almost like you look back and you cringe at yourself to be like, I can't believe I was like that. Okay, this card doesn't want to come forward. Let me just pull, I think, 3 more from this. Okay. Oh, we're getting 5 cards. All right. Oh, I think I should, before I flip these over, I'm just going to pull a shamanic message. Just, okay. Okay. So, in my mind's eye, I was seeing almost like abstract shapes, but they're coming together to form, if you know like Islamic geometry, but like of that nature. And then as in my mind we're zooming in and we're seeing where like the lines meet, there's more geometric patterns, and they're so detailed and like connected in that kind of way. So what I'm seeing is you're in a time frame right now where it's like these things, like these little events that have happened in your life that have felt like separate, obscure, they're finally coming together in a cohesive way that like makes sense. And it's like you could feel as if like there's been a lot of like things that have happened in your life that are just like, this was a moment here, this was a moment here, and it just doesn't make any sense of like what they are. And you're entering a season of like things finally aligning and like making sense. And it's like I'm seeing in my in my brain Slumdog Millionaire. If you're not familiar with the movie, it's like there's a character who like didn't have any like formal education. They were like raised in like the streets in India, I forget where, but they end up getting on this, like in India, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is like huge, and it's like my mom watches it and it's like huge. And so he manages to make it onto like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and like every single question they ask him, there it relates to like an event that happened in his life, and he gets to like the $1,000,000 question. But like these questions are asked and it's like they're tied to like a core memory of his, and it's all like getting him to this path of like becoming a millionaire. So that is something that's like tied like with like the energy that I'm feeling of like there's coming an event in your life where literally it's like these things that like just felt like random events that happened. Like your life could have felt very like aimless. And finally, it's like all coming together where it's like the pieces finally make sense. Why did this thing happen to me? Why did I pursue this education? Why am I so obsessed with this kind of like, you know what I mean, hobby? And it's like finally the pieces are aligning and you're finally going to be able to see the mosaic for what it is. So let's flip these cards. So right off the bat, the moon was the card that wanted to come forward. So it is a time of mystery and of changing perspectives. And look how crazy this moon card is. It's like the moon is literally coming out of the well because the mountains are behind it. And like if the moon was behind the mountains, it would like be in front of the moon. The moon is literally coming out of the well. And it's like this energy of things almost being like feeling supernatural and you just embrace it. Of like allowing the divine will and things that really feel bigger than yourself and of like fairy tales are true. That's what the energy I'm picking up on of like, you know what I mean? Like almost as if like if you've been having like terrible relationships and all of a sudden like you come across a frog and it's like it talks to you and it's like I'm a prince and you kiss it and actually becomes a prince. Like that's the energy that I'm getting. I know this sounds crazy, but I know this is going to make perfect sense to somebody watching this that's going to understand what I'm saying. And if this doesn't resonate, then this message isn't for you. There's this energy of like magic about to happen. And it's like events are gonna happen where it's like you could have like thought this and all of a sudden it happens and you're like, is God reading my diary? That's the energy I'm feeling. And it's like I'm feeling so bubbly and like literally I feel like, you know, like champagne bubbles, almost like when you've been drinking, but like there's this really bubbly uplifting energy here. And it's almost as if like you're gonna be feeling as if you're flying, like your feet aren't touching the ground. There is this like illumination, like you're the moon. Okay. You're the moon. So we got the Six of Cups. Six of Cups. Oh my god, the Eight of Pentacles. The one Ace of Wands. And the King of Swords. So let's start off with the Six of Cups. There is a call to almost things feeling destined or fated, or things that in the past, it's like they're coming to a time of like maturity or ripening. It's like the seeds you planted in childhood are finally ripening now. Of like things like, you know, like I'm somebody, I love like Pokemon cards and stuff. And it's like, that's the energy that I'm getting. There's something like from the past where it could just feel as if like, oh, this is what I liked when I was a kid. And all of a sudden, like, it could be Pokemon cards because it's like, thinking back to like when I was a kid, I had like, you know what I mean? Like we gave them all up to, we call it here, there's a service that's called like Big Brother, but like they're like charity. And like they would come and like take all your old stuff and like those cards, if they still had them, they might be worth something. But it's like, you know, there's, if you know the trading card scene, people are going crazy for like trading cards. Like, I literally just saw a video. There's two places I buy like Pokemon cards from, and they've both been robbed within like the last month. Like, there's a video right now of one place I go to all the time. The robbers that robbed the other store came to this store, tied, like broke the window, and they had like gates on it, and then they tied a rope to their car and pulled it and broke it open just to steal children's toys. Like a card game for kids. Like that's kind of the energy I'm seeing of like, not, you're not going to be robbed, but like they're like the maturing of like the people who liked Pokemon and now they're willing to spend like the big bucks. There's like cards that are going for like, you know what I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it's like, who would have thought that from our childhood, those things are now like this crazy, like if you have a binder full of old Pokemon cards, like you could pay for like college that costs like $500,000. You know what I mean? Like it is craziness of that level. So there is a fulfillment or a maturing, a ripening. I'm just seeing these pumpkins. Like you plant the seeds, it takes a long time, and they finally, when it's time to harvest, you're entering a season of harvest, but it's come from childhood. This could be you developing your skills of like, you could be like a painter, an artist, a singer. You could just be a really good talker and a salesperson, and finally you're coming into like, things are coming to fruition and you're finally standing in your authority. And it's like, a thing of like I was just watching this video on pretty privilege, and there's that like really hot felon, and it's like he had that mugshot, and it was like the moment his mugshot came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's so hot!" And he ended up getting a modeling like he served his time in jail. Well, the moment he got out, he got a modeling contract, and two female billionaires were like fighting over him to like date him, and like they were getting to like a fist fight over him. Wild. I'm sure if he was into men, there'd be like more fights. Anyways, what I'm all of that to say is like this man, before his mugshot went out there, his life was so different. And it was like the situation that he was in was one where like he probably didn't have a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of forces working against him, but him getting arrested and his mugshot being put out there, and it's just like like ever like it catapulted him into like the eyes of the world, like, and so many people were like losing their minds on social media about how hot he was. And it wasn't until that situation. So what I'm saying is you have not been in the correct situation, in the right rooms. Like, you are coming to a place where the world is ready to see your magic. You have not been put on the pedestal that you've deserved to be this whole time. You've been working in the shadows. You've been like the King of Swords. You've been the Queen of Swords. Because I know I'm talking to a collective of beautiful besties, but it's like male or female, non-gendered, wherever you fall on the gender spectrum. I know, bestie, you are royalty. You are divine. We would not be besties if you were not like divine, if you were not royalty, if you were not spiritual royalty. And it's like very much so you're being put in a position of you being on the pedestal you deserve right now. I'm like getting so excited, and I just feel like I haven't had anything to drink. It's like this feeling of like being drunk on life. Bubbly is what's really coming forward, and like almost as if like forgetting the pain that you've endured and like the bad that's happened, because your future is so bright and so happy and so cheerful, and the light that is within you is finally appreciated. One thing I heard, very much so, it's like, I go where I'm celebrated. And finally, you are going to be in rooms where you are celebrated. You're finally going to be stepping into places where like people, like you walk in and everybody like lights up. That is the energy that is coming forward here. Because with the Eight of Pentacles, that has to do with like our work. It could be our soul's work, but I'm getting like you're stepping into a very like big pivotal career upgrade. And this could mean like social media influencer, whatever. You could be an artist, whatever it is. It's like there's finally, it's you are being recognized for what you are good at. It's like I'm getting the energy of someone being paid to exist. Like, like people that do like podcasts, but it's like a podcast of personality. Like they just show up and they talk, and then like they sign a check for whatever. Like I think a couple years ago it was like David Dobrik. They offered him like 10 million a season, like for 1 year, to do a podcast with his friend Jason Nash, and it was literally like 1 hour a week, and they would pay him 10 million for the year. And he said no, but because I mean he got to a point, like, controversies aside with him, he got to a point where money didn't mean anything. Like, he made so much that it was like, well, what's 10 million at that point? When, like, you could buy, for him, he could buy anything he wanted, do anything he wanted. Like, it was limitless. So 10 million, and it was like, for him, that hour of his life was better spent for him to, like, do whatever than it was to be making 10 million in a year. So there's this energy of you stepping into a position, and we have the honeybee going after the flower and the beehives right here. It's something, it feels very much like you were born to do it. You were born for this, baby. It doesn't even feel like work. It just feels so natural. And then with the Ace of Wands, this is funny because it's like, the Ace of Wands speaks of, growth, upward momentum, you taking life into your own hands. But the energy that I'm getting from this card is like in forests, when there's too many trees, tall trees, they block out all the light, and then all the little plants at the bottom, at the base of the forest, can't grow. So when it's like a tree is like cut down or falls, it's like the forest floor springs to life, and all these plants start to spring forward. And it's like this tree has just been cut. It's a clean cut. It didn't, like, it wasn't like a whatever clean cut, but look at all the flowers are in bloom now. It feels as if there's been an obstacle removed from your path, and now you're able to bloom. And there is so much like colorful, like there's color, there's life, there's joy. Like joy is like springing up from the ground. When you see, look at these happy, beautiful flowers that I want to just like talk about. It's like there are like these little joys blooming from the ground, and it's like a very sustained energy. This, like, sorry, honey, this tree is dead. She's not coming back. Like, this obstacle that's been removed, it's gone. And so you're able to step in your power and into your light. And we got the King of Swords, like, be able to reign supreme. And this is like you standing at the top of the mountain, and it's like, it's lonely at the top, but it's like, this is a position that only you could be in. This is a role that only you could thrive in. It's like your authenticity and you being able to stand in your power and your light. That is what it's like calling for right now. That is what you're being prepared for. That is what is arriving. And all you have to do is stand in your own light and let it shine. All right, bestie. Thank the spirits and the divine and all that dwells in the light for being here. And until next time, I love you so, 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 so much. And until next time, bye.